listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
All right, good morning. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be with you this morning, and thanks for being with us. It's going to be a great, sunny, cold day today, but sun is good. We need the sun. We got a bit of snow last night. We'll talk about that. It was not in the forecast. More snow than what we were expecting. Just to make my drive into work a little more interesting, I'm thinking. If nothing else, just seems to come out of nowhere and have to, treacherous driving conditions, and you have to drive according to, the conditions that are out there. So thanks for being with us this morning. We're live on CKLU 96.7 FM. We are also streaming at cklu.ca. You just click on the Radio Player Canada app. You can download that and listen to us anytime, anywhere on your favorite device. Not only this show, but all of the great programming here at CKLU. We've been around since 1984. Started in a little trailer at the LU campus on the hill, Ramsey Lake Road. And now we're located in the MacEwan School of Architecture building, the old Telegraph building, which became part of that whole thing. Very historic building. And all under the umbrella of Laurentian University. So volunteer run and happily so. We do, however, rely on people like yourselves' contributions in order to run the station, a little by the students and by the community. So if you go to the website, you can support us by making a monetary donation. Also, you can buy merch and get t-shirts and mugs and all kinds of great things. So yeah, we're going to have a great show today. We're also live on streaming on Facebook, facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, and comment. And with that, good morning, David. Stay safe as usual. And I was trying to stay safe on my way to work this morning. It wasn't easy with the roads not being 100% cleared. Good morning. Happy Friday, Shane. Weekend's coming up. Sunny Friday. Cool. We'll get to that in the weather. Some stories we're going to be covering. A little bit of sports after the weather and sports. Today is the big day of the final report, whether or not the Emergencies Act, in Ottawa should have went forward. What did we learn from it? Or is there going to be a little slap on the hand? Is it going to be a scathing report against those that invoked the Emergencies Act, the Prime Minister of Canada? So yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. Not too much to talk about really because the report hasn't been out, but Monday we'll probably look through the report and unpack it a little bit. It didn't really make any of the news. I had to go search it on Google. It wasn't on any of our local news feeds on social media anyways. CBC, CTV, Sudbury Star, Sudbury.com, nothing there about it. But it was on the radio this morning on CTV. CBC radio. CTV doesn't have a radio station, although they do have Pure Country, which is part of the Bell Media organization. Other than that, they don't have a news station. So with all that, we're going to talk about a lot of local stories as well. Some interesting stuff about how universities, what they're teaching our young people. I just came through it myself as an old person going to school with young people. So I'm very up to date on how that's been going on. But we'll talk about that and much, much, much more. The city just, did their budget deliberations. They're going to come out with some more red light cameras. These ones are going to be mobile. They're going to go all over the city now. You don't even know which light they're on. And if you happen to make a traffic violation, you will be mailed a ticket or emailed a ticket. I don't know how high tech we are yet, but definitely you'll be charged. We'll talk about that as well. So lots and lots in the news to talk about this morning, but let's kick it off with some weather and we'll be back right after this. Sudbury weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. Currently, it is minus 17. Feels like minus 27. Definitely does. It's very nippy out there. Dress accordingly. Periods of snow ending this morning, then sunny. And it really shouldn't have even snowed last night. I looked out the window at about 9:30 last night. It was heavily coming down. And I said, where the heck is this coming from? Was not forecast anyways. The wind will be gusting up to 40 kilometers, becoming light in the morning. High of minus 10 in the day. Wind chill feel like minus 29. And this morning, minus 13 this afternoon will be the temperature with the wind chill. So still cold. Minus 13 is cold. Tonight, clear. Increasing cloudiness as some warmer weather moves in. Increasing cloudiness later this evening. Wind becoming southwest 20 kilometers after midnight. Low minus 15 with temperature rising to minus 8 by the morning. The wind chill will be minus 22 overnight. So still very cold overnight. Saturday, cloudy, 60% chance of flurries and high of minus 1. Wind chill will be minus 18 in the morning and then minus 6 in the afternoon. Look at our long-range forecast. Again, 60% chance of flurries tomorrow, high of minus 1. Sunday, 40% chance of flurries, high of 0. Monday, minus 4 flurries. Tuesday, it was saying it was going to be sunny. Now it's cloudy, minus 11. And we're still saying it's going to be sunny on Wednesday, high of minus 12. But as we know, it'll change by the time it gets there. And Thursday, they're predicting some more flurries. Anyways, a look at your satellite view if you're on the radio. There's a lot of clearing everywhere, north of us, north of Timmins, basically any populated areas, a lot of clearing, overcast over all the populated areas with some activity pretty much over central Ontario, all the way from northern Michigan, all the way to Ottawa. Was that whatever that was we experienced last night that really wasn't in the forecast, but we got it anyways. I think we got a few inches of snow. I would say about 4 inches of snow, 3 to 4 anyways. So that's your weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. It lands on our sudbury.news website for all things Sudbury weather. Visit sudburyweather.ca. We'll be back with a little bit of a sports report. Wolves are in action, Five are in action right after this. Sudbury Sports brought to you by Randy Pascal's website. Randy Pascal is that Sudbury sports guy. If you're reading in any of our news outlets, if you're reading on Sudbury.com, Sudbury Star, and you see the article written by that sports guy, it is Randy Pascal. He has a website of his own, and it's sudburysports.com. Tonight, the Wolves are in action at the Sudbury Arena. It is bilingual night, brought to you by Desjardins. They're going to have those light sticky things just to make the the atmosphere a little bit lit up. And there's going to be some really cool activities where you can participate, win some prizes, all that stuff. And they will be facing the Erie Otters. First time this season, first time since 2019. So make sure to get out to the game. You get tickets at greatersudbury.ca/tickets or at the arena box office. And then following tonight's game, if you're not able to make it out, you can catch it right here on CKLU. But if you're able to go, I would encourage you just to get out there. It's a wonderful time. It's not all that expensive to have a great time, great hockey game, all kinds of stuff going on around the game. They make a great effort to make it a wonderful outing. So following tonight's game, the Wolves will head to Niagara to face the Ice Dogs. That'll be 2 p.m. on Sunday. And then Monday, the Wolves will head to Peterborough for a Family Day afternoon game. That's on Family Day, obviously. 2:05. You can catch that game right here on CKLU 96.7 FM. You can also catch the Sunday game as well. So you can also watch the game OHL live at watch.chl.ca. That's watch.chl.ca. For more information, go visit the Sudbury Wolves official website at sudburywolves.com. I knew that. So here you go. Also, the Five were in action last night, and they beat the Newfoundland Rogues. They beat them here in town. They beat them last night. They got another game tonight, also Saturday. So they played them once here. They're playing them 3 times altogether in Newfoundland. And they won the game last night, and now they're going to be playing tonight and then tomorrow. But then they're back in town here for Family Day. So the Five Family Day camp kicks off early at 9:30 to 10:30 and 10:30 to 11:30. It's designed for the whole family to enjoy. The Family Day camps have space for 8 families of up to 4 members each session. Registration includes an hour of training on the Five's home court and tickets to the game later that day. So it's going to be a fun-filled family day game kind of thing. So round up your family, come on down to the Five game. They'll have a special family ticket package for $50 and HST included. Only $12.50 a ticket. To take advantage of the special 4-pack for this Monday's game, you first need to select 4 adult seats at greatersudbury.ca/tickets and edit the price by using the edit pen icon to select Family Pack Adult on both adult tickets and Family Pack Child on both children's tickets. I wish it was a little simpler, but at least if you want to get the deal and you're a little tech savvy and you're able to follow that, you're able to get those tickets at that cheaper price for Family Day. Limited to bowl seating only. Fans can make their way downtown early to take part in the festivities that we talked about during the YMCA Family Day before making your way over to the Five Family Fun action. There you go. Wolves tonight. Five tonight. And both on Family Day. Wolves on the road, Five in town. Get out tonight and see the Wolves, and then get out Monday and see the Five. Sudbury Sports, brought to you by SudburySports.com. That's Randy Pascal. He is that Sudbury Sports guy, and SudburySports.com is his website. We'll be back with some gas prices, headlines, and your comments right after this. All right, Sudbury gas prices brought to you by Sudbury News Talk, where you can come to discuss all the latest, greatest headlines in our city and issues that affect us in our city from outside sources, including province, our country, and the world, basically. I just want to get our comments here up on the screen. You can see those. Gas prices currently, Costco, obviously, $1.43.9. They went down, and then they went right back up. It was like a little glitch. And guess who didn't gas up during that little glitch. Circle K is the lowest in Chelmsford after Costco at 145.3, Shell on Regent 145.5, another couple Chelmsford ones 145.5, UP Energy, Canadian Tire 145.6, Pioneer on the Kingsway 145.6, Mobile on LaSalle 145.6, and so on and so forth in town. If you need to see the gas prices, you go to gasbuddy.com/Sudbury and you get all of the latest gas prices. We'll be back with headlines right after this. All right, and here we go. Lots to talk about today. I don't know. I think I went to the wrong one. Yes, here we go. I guess we're going to go from the top. This just out. Long-awaited Sudbury murder trial about to start. You remember this is going back, 25 years now? Quite a long time ago. And so it's about to start. They don't have anything on there. They have a video, and they asked me not to play any of their videos, so I won't play that. But I'm looking forward to the trial starting because it's been a long, long time, and it was far overdue as far as I know. And I know they found someone living in North Bay who they charged, and now it's going to trial. I think there was some DNA involved with it. I'm not sure. Anyways, all that will be coming out. We'll be talking about that at length on this show in the future, obviously, as more details come available. And good morning, Diane. Bon matin. And Dave said at one time they had a cop handing out traffic tickets, which also serviced to slow traffic. That's true. Now the male person is doing that job, and they are reducing the speed limits to increase revenue. Yeah, and that's coming because you're giving us that comment because we talked about, that's what we're going to be talking about today, about the mobile red light cameras they're going to be placing throughout the city on top of the 6 permanent ones that we already have. And good morning, Monique. Thanks for being with us. We're going to get more into the red light. By the score, by the way, for the 5 against the Rogue was 144-137, by the way. Now, we talked about Cecil Facer closing, the Youth Detention Center in Sudbury. It's closing. Head of Sudbury John Howard Society says many youth have been diverted from incarceration in recent years, but she is still concerned by the facility's impending closure. This story from Sudbury.com, reported by Heidi Ulrichsen, who did a really stellar and continues to do a stellar job reporting on the Laurentian insolvency and the aftermath of that. The head of the John Howard Society of Sudbury says there are pros and cons to the impending closure of Cecil Facer Youth Center, a 16-bed Sudbury facility for Northern young offenders. Last week, it was announced that Cecil Facer would be closed within 2 years, and the property repurposed to house a 50-bed detention center for adult women to be built on the same property. Cecil Facer is located in the south end off Highway 69 by the OPP station, as we know. The ministry says it opened in 1971 as a training school for boys and became a youth-only secure custody facility in 1985. Some of these cons certainly are. Where are these youth going to go? Sarah Berghammer, who's the CEO of the John Howard Society, says the John Howard Society is a Canadian nonprofit organization that seeks to develop understanding and effective responses to the problem of crime and prison reform, which is going on now at a huge rate. Legal prison reform. What do we do when we arrest somebody? Should we keep them? Would we keep them on bail, or do we offer them bail? Do we let them out quickly? It seems like things are going more like the whole catch and release thing, where we're going to the rehabilitation route, rather than the punishing route, which there are some good things about that, but also we're catching criminals and just letting them go right away, and then they're going out and doing crime right afterwards. So we're going to have to get a handle on this if we want to continue down that road. So Berghammer says, we know that there have been a steady decline of youth being held in custody, like I just said, which is why a number of years ago, Cecil Fazer was closing wings of its jail because there weren't enough youth, which is a very good thing, arguably, because we know the harm of incarceration. Do we know the harm of incarceration? That's interesting. John Howard Society, amongst other, Elizabeth Fry as well, the women's organization. I think it's interesting that a woman is the CEO of the John Howard Society. I don't think a man would ever be the CEO of the Elizabeth Fry Society, but I could be wrong. But where are these youth going to go? If the youth that are currently being held there are from our community, I would imagine they would be shipped out to other facilities. There are concerns in that too, in that they're not connected to the community in which they will eventually be released to. And they really should be in the communities where they live and gaining rapport and developing connections with people that can help them when they're out. Also, family would be nice to come and visit them. That's not here, but I think that's a good argument of why the youth should be in the community in which, they're incarcerated for something they've done. And why can't we incarcerate and rehabilitate? Why do we have to just let people go back into the community? So I think there's been a very progressive agenda here to catch and release. And there's this idea that people have been treated too harshly for doing crimes. Like that would say the law is wrong. So the law as we have it is wrong, and the law would need reformation, right? And but I think we're going to go down this road no matter what, because there's too many people that just don't stay up on top of what's going on and won't make enough noise about this. And it seems like everybody in the legal arena has adopted this ideology, and so that's where we're going. But I don't know why we need 50 beds then for a women's prison, for lack of a better word, detainment center, because they won't be detained very long. And it's the same thing. Incarceration is bad, so why incarcerate anyone, including children? Yes, the Sweeney murder was over 20 years ago. Yes. I thought I read 25 years ago, over 25 years ago. Good morning, Tracy. Thanks for being with us. On the Youth Criminal Training Center is closing. Oh, the Youth Criminal Training Center is closing. Okay, yeah, the idea that when you're incarcerated, you learn to be a criminal, which I guess is one of the downsides and why that would need to be reformed, but just letting people right back into society without any punishment or anything either. I don't know if that's really doing anything for people. I had a cousin working there, said adults stayed there too, as they would begin their sentence as juvenile and then become adults while they were there. Yeah, for sure. Interesting stuff. We'll see. It's closing no matter what. It's not up for debate. It will be a women's center. The Sudbury councillors met to discuss the upcoming budget, and looks like Place des Arts is looking for increased support from the city. Surprise, surprise. I guess it wasn't designed to be self-sufficient in any way, shape, or form, as a lot of these projects are not. People just don't consider how they're going to pay for them. I guess just the never-ending tax base will pay for all of these projects. Place des Arts will receive increased support from the city this year. During council budget talks on Wednesday, Ward 6 Councillor Rene Lapierre, who sits on the Place des Arts board, introduced an amendment asking that the 2023 budget be modified to include increased support for the facility. Quote, with an ongoing annual net levy impact, $50,778 or 0.02% levy increase. While there was significant discussion about the merits of supporting Place des Arts, some councillors were concerned at the ask will increase each year. I guess so, and it's going to, guaranteed. Lapierre reminded his colleagues the facility is running well. Well, of course it is. It's brand new. While the groups behind Place des Arts had to pivot during the pandemic and adjust their design, it's up and running, Lapierre said. It's the only project that is large in nature that has happened, in excess of 33 million, wink, wink. Place des Arts was one of the several large projects the municipality decided to support following a community meeting in November 2015. It's also the only one of large projects to become a reality. At that time, council also supported new event center. Remember that one? Which evolved into the Kingsway Entertainment District before it was canceled last year, and a new art gallery and library, which is still going ahead, known as the Junction $100 million project. That's what it's named today. The $100 million library, art gallery, a convention center, known as the Junction. I thought it was Junction East, but it's the Junction. Place des Arts, located at the corner of Elgin and Larch Street, is a performing arts center and cultural hub for the regional Francophone community. It includes a bistro, the Theatre de Nouvelle Ontario and Galerie de Nouvelle Ontario, as well as a gift shop and bookstore. I bet you things are just flying off the shelves there. They can't keep enough inventory and have to hire more staff for the amount of things that are being bought at the gift and bookstore. Ward 1 Councillor Mark Signoretti said, every year it seems like we're giving more and more. He contrasted Place des Arts with the Caruso Club, which, he said, has been around for 75 years, and he's never asked the city for a dime to cover operating costs. Why would he use the Caruso Club? I would think because it's an Italian club. Place des Arts is a Francophone venue. He makes a good case there. I want to make sure this is it, that they're not coming back for more, Signoretti said. Lapierre explained the ask from Place des Arts is not for new money. Rather, it's part of a long-term commitment the city made in 2017 to contribute to operating costs. Well, we'll be continuing forever and ever on that one then. We've always shown support, but we piecemeal their ask over years so it wouldn't have a large impact on the operating budget, he explained. It's just the last part of the initial funding they requested from 2017 onward. In the end, only Ward Councillor Michael Vagnini opposed the motion. So there you go. Sounds like council meetings are heating up. All kinds of great stuff going on down there. Great debating. So what do you think? Italian Club? Should they get some funding from the city as well to help fund their initiatives? It is for like a segment of the population, right? Italians, they go there and it's their place and they welcome all people. They also have this really mind-blowing concept that they have revenue generating things that pay for their initiatives. So they have a restaurant. They rent out their venue for weddings and events, and they actually make money. It's a concept that a lot of people these days kind of forgot about. So instead of just going back and keep asking for more money, things could actually make money. You could be self-sufficient. I don't know if that's it's part of our new society of that's wrong to say or something. Is that not politically correct anymore? That if you go and make a large venue like this that's for a specific population, that in the planning of it, you could actually say, well, maybe we should be self-sufficient. The YMCA, another great example of that, downtown Sudbury, bleeding out hundreds of thousands of dollars. Revenue making could have been a part of that whole discussion of how do we make this thing profitable rather than just coming to the city for money. Back in the day, that's the way things were done. If you don't have the money, you don't get it. You don't do it. And this $100 million library that's not built yet, I just can't see any reason for it. It's just going to be, again, like Plaza Days Out is asking for $50,000. This thing's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to operate. And anyone I've talked to, other than maybe 1 out of every 50 people, think it's a great idea. So that's the way we do things these days. We do the thing that makes the least sense to the least amount of people and costs the most money. And we go ahead with it. So it really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. What does make sense is combining that idea. If you really need a new library, which we don't, but if you really do, and we need an arts, I guess, we need an art gallery. Do we need $100 million art gallery? We can repurpose. There's buildings downtown that are empty right now because of the pandemic. People are working from home. We can repurpose and really beautify a building that already exists and have a lot of these things there. But why don't we put the arena, this new, now that we've killed the KED, you can encompass all of these things in one glorious, grand edifice. And it actually would make money, at least break even. There'd be a lot of revenue streams. You can easily put a library with an arena. There's no doubt about it. It's been done before. You can have other things attached with an arena. All kinds of stuff. It's just we have to think right. We have to think properly in this city. So much backwards thinking for so many years. And we need accountability. We need transparency. We just do. It just is what it is. Get to some comments here. They're loading up as I was on a bit of a rant here. Denise, good morning, everyone. Yes, good morning, Denise. Dave. It's a lot easier to ask for money than to generate money. Yes, it is. Very easy to go, please, can I have some money, than to actually be in business. It's not easy. 80% of businesses that start up go out of business. And there's a reason for that. There's a lot to it. It's not easy to make money, but we do have some really capable people in the city that if they were to kind of be on their best selves, be their best selves and be on their best all the time, bring their A game, so to speak, we would be able to bring these things to pass. Look, North Bay, man, they just made a casino, no problem. Now they're making a new arena and community center. No problem. They just passed it. These things are not controversial. Well, the casino could be, depending, right? But they're able to get things done regardless. They don't just wallow. And the things that do get done here seem to be disasters. Like, I just don't understand it. If you knew how much money Science North wastes, like, I'd love to see the numbers on Science North. I'd love to see the numbers of Dynamic Earth. I'd love to see how much money they generate compared to how much money is given to them from taxpayers, whether from the province or locally. How many administrative jobs they have. What are the salaries? Like, really look at it. Like, why can't that just be easily found in public information? Why do we have to have a university that goes bankrupt and the CEO from that goes to the hospital, and then we don't really know the finances of the hospital either, and we're planning $100 million library. We can't build a new arena. It's just bad getting worse. So I hope there's a stop to this just a $100 million art gallery library, and some cooler heads will prevail. It's largely the entitlement society now. We expect too much from government. And that's all part of the plan, right? I think government loves that. And government loves the fact that we go to them for everything because it gives them control and gives them power. One thing I really give me a really bad taste in my mouth about the way this country does business is you can't really do big business without the government. You need subsidies. You need their investments because their regulations will kill you. First of all, if you try to go out there and do it on your own, regulations will kill you. And then if you do, they'll just give money to your competitor. They'll give a grant to make a competitor for you who didn't do any of the hard work or anything. They just have a friend in the government and they ask for hundreds of millions of dollars to start a company that'll be your competitor. It just does. It's not good. It's not good for economies. It's communist is what it is. And we've been moving more and more towards that over the years. We need good cleanup in this city. Yes, we need an audit is what we need. I don't care. That's something I think most people would be behind if it was an audit, not something that was skewed or whatever or compromised. Water rates in the greater city of Sudbury are going up 4.8% this year in 2023. It's another thing that came out of the budget deliberations. City will hire more paramedics for greater Sudbury. Got more paramedics coming. Here's the city may expand greater Sudbury's red light camera program. How about we change that may to will, because I'll make a prediction on this show right now. The city will expand greater Sudbury's red light camera program in 2023. It's like, remember when you used to make those calls to whether your credit card company or the government said you may be recorded for quality and training purposes, and now it's you are being recorded. It's kind of like that. So we're going to get these red light cameras coming in, no problem. We currently have, 6 in the city. They're located, I had it up here already. Let's see if I can find it. So Paris Street and Cedar is one of them. So these aren't, these aren't ones that change. They're going to have, so the headline is here, they're going to expand the radar program cameras to capture drivers who speed along greater Sudbury's roadways. The city council approved Thursday the implementation of an automated speed enforcement program which aims to nab speeders. Tom Davies Square will start with 2 units, which will be moved around the city at 3-month intervals. So these are kind of like mobile cameras. They're on one set of lights for a while and then they change. You don't even know they're there. At least you know which ones are there now. So you know Paris Street and Cedar Street have cameras that will issue a ticket if you are found in violation of a traffic law within that intersection. Regent Street and Loaches Road and Algonquin, the highway in Valparaiso and Dominion Drive. So at that intersection, there's a camera there. LaSalle and Montrose Avenue, Paris Street and Centennial Drive, LaSalle and Roy Avenue. So there's the 6 that we currently have. They came out last year. Been around for a while. The program will earn the city $44,000 in 2023, leading to a 0.01% decrease in the tax levy and ongoing net revenue of approximately $412,000 beginning in 2024. Staff estimated 2 mobile enforcement units could generate more than $1 million in gross revenue. They said the units can be in place by autumn. So the staff said in the business case, it's estimated that each offense will generate $55 in fine revenue. And the processing of 20,000 offenses is expected to generate $1.1 million in annual revenue. It's anticipated that staff could have the ASE program operational by September. So, the city actually wouldn't need to do these types of things to generate revenue if the things we were building generated the revenue, instead of building things that cost our money and then taking our money through initiatives like this. It just seems Orwellian to me. It seems backwards. Let's just punish everyday average citizens. Let's say, how many people are in a little bit of a daze? You didn't come to a complete stop. I don't know, whatever it is. There's no perfect person out there. I once asked a police officer who was wrongfully detaining me if he'd ever made a mistake in his life, and he said, no, he never has. He's never broken one law in his entire life. And right there, I said, I'm dealing with someone who's not in reality. And, but yeah, so what person has not, eventually there's going to be cameras everywhere. This is a good idea, right? So there's so many laws out there. Why don't just equip everyone with a watch on their hand with a camera? And anytime you say something or do something wrong, it just automatically gives you a ticket. How much more revenue could we generate by doing that? That's what I think we should do. So just a camera that's on your body, just put it in your phone, maybe an app that detects anything you do that's illegal and automatically issues you a ticket. Welcome to the future. I think there's a lot of politicians out there saying, yeah, well, we're already on that one. Let's just obey traffic laws. Then we won't have to worry about the camera. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, that's the whole reason for things, right? Like when you force and enforce things, like when you live in a free country, you have laws and you have police. And if you break a law and you're caught doing it, like there's already things in place. We already have how many tax dollars that go out to police, and there were traffic police and whatever. Now they got this new thing out there that'll just scan for anybody's license plate. And if you didn't go online and automatically renew your license or whatever, they'll pull you over and give you a ticket. And that's one of the reasons for that. Remember, you had to go in and get your sticker. So you had to look and see, oh, there's a sticker on that car. They got their car registered. Okay. But now they have a scanner that'll just scan your license plate. And if you forgot to go online and renew, because they changed that now, right? But it was all just to go along with this kind of surveillance, making you, and Miles, you should know all about this, when someone makes you do something that's right, where that comes from, right? So we know who's behind this. Like you can teach someone a correct principle and then let them govern themselves, or you can force someone to live a correct principle, is where our society is going. One is freedom and the other one is totalitarian communism, basically. So if you're forcing all your citizens to obey every single law all the time, like that, there's just something wrong with that way of governing. And we've been warned about it by many, many people in the past. And that's the way our future is heading no matter what. I see too many red lights run in this city. It should be great revenue. Yeah, for sure. No, I understand what side you're on. There's no doubt about that. Welcome to the future. More like welcome to China. Yeah, exactly. So China has the most cameras per capita out of any other. They have billions and billions of cameras, and you're tracked everywhere you go, facial recognition. And if you don't, and then they have moral laws too. Like if you help someone across the street who needs help, you get points, and they have a point system. And then if you do something wrong, points are taken away. And so a lot of people can't fly because they don't have enough points to fly, or they don't have privileges in their society due to these extra things that are tacked onto them, not just regular laws like we're used to here in this country, correct? You forgot to mention the new camera, they're reducing the speed limit. Oh, I didn't know. So they also reducing speed limits along with the camera, so to make it easier to nab people and increase revenue. I just think, again, as an increased revenue model, like we're doing that, but then we're letting criminals out of jails because it's too harmful for them. Like so one side's ramping up and one side's coming down. Like I don't get it. I don't understand. Are we being tough on everyone? Okay, well, if that's the way it's going, well, then why aren't we just tough on everyone? Why are we doing this on one side of society, but then we're being very lenient on the other side? I think there's some really weird things happening with the changes in our society that I think we really need to watch out for. Running red lights is also endangering others. Public safety is a concern as well. Yeah, that's true. That is. But if, again, it's like a helicopter parent, Miles. You're keeping your child safe for sure. There's no doubt about it. And you're stopping every experience they're ever going to have in their life. You're going to bubble wrap them because it keeps them safer. It's true. We are always exchanging freedom for safety, freedom for security. So you give away your freedom and we'll make you safer. So you're always exchanging that. So the more you look at it in that way, is it against the law to run a red light? You're darn right it is. You're breaking the law. So enforcing the law, we have laws that are enforced. So the more we're just going to an AI, which we're getting to, everything will be AI very shortly in the future. And cameras everywhere, and AI will just take care of it. And you wait for the glitches that happen. You wait until you're accidentally shut off when you go to the store one day and you try and pay for something and it says, oh, actually, you don't exist. What do you mean? I know I exist. No, there's no record of you in our system whatsoever. And then you call the number which has an AI robot thing, and you're like, press 1 if you think you've been deleted by accident. And then it goes, oh, sorry, all of our AI attendants are busy at the moment, but if you just leave a message, and meanwhile, you can't pay a bill, you can't go out, you can't do anything. And then you're pulled over for driving your car and say, oh, our automatic camera just found out that there was an unauthorized person driving this who's not registered in the database because you're deleted. And you go, no, there was a mix-up. I don't know. I was deleted by accident. Oh, sure, sir. Sure, you were deleted by accident. Come with us. That's your future right there. I should make a movie based on that. So that's all I'm going to talk about cameras today because I'm too much ranting going on. This is, speaking of Miles chiming in, who's definitely in favor of safety and red lights, mobile red lights, more of them, and preventing crimes from happening rather than enforcing them once they happen. The union representing maintenance workers in social housing buildings in Sudbury is voicing concern for workers and tenants. So this is CTV, Northern Ontario. The union representing maintenance workers in social housing buildings in Sudbury is voicing concern for workers and tenants. QP Local 4705 said maintenance workers have been subject to various forms of harassment and have witnessed drug abuse and weapons in the facility. I wonder if they were registered weapons. Brian Keith, president of QP Local 4705, said every unit has its own challenges, but buildings on Louis Street and Bruce Avenue have had the most problematic to date. Unfortunately, there's a lot of overdoses. Some of our staff have unfortunately found people in the stairwells that they've had to administer to. It's escalated to the point where even walking through the grounds and you're getting stuff thrown at you from the balconies, for instance, has caused huge safety concerns. He says it's a concern not only for workers, but for tenants and visitors. Nobody feels all that safe, there's that word again, anymore going to some of these buildings, he said. Colin Mackerel, a tenant at Louis Street, said he feels unsafe in his building and has been a long-standing advocate for increasing safety. He said he's seen multiple instances of violence and drug use. It's supposed to be a secure building. None of it is secured, he said. He said he understands why workers would feel unsafe. I've seen them go into units where people are using. They're violent. People have thrown rocks at workers. They've tossed stuff off balconies. Yeah, as we said before, it's unsafe for tenants. These good tenants are the ones that are suffering in every aspect. The elderly are scared to come out, and good tenants are scared to come out. So Greater Sudbury, which manages Sudbury Housing, said health and safety of its workers is a top priority. City worker Barb Dubois said all staff are equipped with cell phones to communicate in the event of an emergency. She said the city underwent an audit of social housing to determine any weaknesses in security. Since then, she said they've increased security measures in the buildings. Well, if they increase security measures, why are people worried about things being thrown off balconies and everyone's worried about their security? So here's a question of whether anything is being done or not, or whether someone's just saying it. The plan is to have people own nothing and be happy. Yes, that is what the World Economic Forum's leader, Klaus Schwab, has said many, many times. Government wants our money and assets, and we will only be able to do activities based on good citizen points. Yeah, like the point system they have in China, which my chair of my, the chair of the program I was in, Laurentian University, said, yes, China is the model we should be looking to. She agreed with China's way of governing, and most of her colleagues at the university agreed as well. We are not playing sports at school here. We are driving very, very dangerous projectiles on highways and roads. That's why driving is a privilege, not a right. That's right. In Calgary, they have speed lights. If caught speeding through lights or the main highway that goes around the city, you can be ticketed. Definitely. Okay, there is no respect in the world. Correct. So that's the thing, right? I think you find as we more and more enter into the police state that we're going into, you'll find that we're not solving society's problems at the core. We are just trying to handle behaviors, and with the cameras and the law and the tickets and everything like that for the law-abiding citizens. Well, you're not law-abiding if you're breaking a law, but then you just let everyone else just occupy your property and come into your building, and they are allowed to stay there. It's illegal to get them out. You see this kind of weird. On one side, it's getting softer and softer, so soft it's turning into liquid, and the other side it's getting harder and harder and harder and turning into a solid. It's weird the way that that's going on, but you just have to be perceptive of the world and see what's happening. Klaus is no longer in charge, apparently. Oh, he's always in charge. Dr. Evil. He was the head of what was secret meetings before part of the Bilderberg group, where people would have to go in and go, we're here at this meeting. And he is the head of that. Then they just came out of the closet and said, hey, we're actually like a government organization, like the WHO, we're like the WEF, kind of thing. Meanwhile, they're not. They're not elected in any way, shape, or form. But whether Klaus is behind it or not, he's definitely been part of it for as long as I've known. And if he steps aside, it's probably in name only. But anyways, so there you have it. That's our world today, and that's Sudbury News Talk. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. We'll have more on that whole final report on the Emergencies Act on Monday and see what's come out on that. Does he get a slap on the hand? Does he get a free pass? We'll have to see. But thanks for commenting, everyone. We appreciate that. We appreciate you. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.